What is going on, everybody? Welcome back here to Monday mornings on a Tuesday because Iona is Iona. We currently have a special guest on the phone with us, Austin Avery, Senior Account Executive with the Dallas Cowboys, is on the phone. Austin, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Not bad, hanging in there. Austin, obviously, I would assume part of the reason you are doing well definitely comes with Dak Prescott's success now.
Yeah, it definitely is a fun time to be here right now with a rookie quarterback kind of starting over a veteran right now. You couldn't ask for a better outcome than what's happened. It's just given Tony Romo some time to not rush back and take time to rehab. But yeah, it's a huge controversy going on right now. I mean, when I drive in on the radio, that's everybody can talk about is, how long will Dak start? And this is Tony's team, and we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see what happens this Sunday in Green Bay.
Give us an idea on what the split is like. Is it 50-50, Dak Tony? Does it seem like more people are kind of leaning towards the new guy, or are they sticking with old reliable and Tony Romo?
It just kind of depends on who you ask. I mean, Jerry's always going to tell you this is Tony's team, and the kind of football IQ guys will say, hey, look, Tony's the best fourth quarter comeback quarterback in the NFL. You can't disregard the stats and the numbers. Tony's number one. So, it. When we were sitting here 3-4 weeks ago and had Dak starting, we were kind of saying, oh, crap, what's going to happen? But, I mean, the guy has worked his tail off, and with Zeke helping him out, I mean, these two are the, best two rookies that have really kind of put America's team on their back. And I don't know. It's going to be the momentum of what keeps happening. I think best case scenario is Dak keeps playing if we keep winning, and it gives Tony more time to heal his back so that he's not rushed to come back too early and get hurt again. The Cowboys is Tony's team. That's just the way it's built here. Jerry and Tony have that relationship, so I think Tony's excited for Dak to see him succeed. I mean, everybody is. Dak's a great guy. The team's around him right now, so I think they're going to keep building on Dak and letting him get more snaps and see the future is bright with him and let him keep developing. And then when Tony's ready to come back, he will, or who knows? I can't tell you. I don't know what to say, but it's definitely a big, interesting topic going around the DFW area.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does seem like something that's going to be a lot of back and forth. But like you said, for the meantime, right now, it's Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott, the two rookies taking the entire league by storm, not just Dallas. But is this the most excited that you can kind of remember the Dallas area about their team in quite a while after just 5 games right now? I feel like the excitement level because of these two new guys and their early success is almost hitting a peak within 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our team, last year we were 4-12. We were just trying to keep the bus from falling apart. This year it's a oiled Ferrari right now. You're looking at it, and you have the leading rusher in the NFL and Zeke as a rookie, and Dak, who hasn't thrown an interception, and he's about to potentially break Tom Brady's record as a rookie in 5, 6, 7 games. So the future is bright here for sure. With the developing players and these rookies, I think I was just listening to Jerry this morning. He's ecstatic the fact that we have 2 rookies that we can build a team around. And they came in, worked hard, and now they've already taken the league by storm. So it's pretty cool to hear how the new age of the Cowboys are going to kind of take over. I mean, we're playing 4-1 football right now without Dez. So when you put Dez back in the picture, it's going to be an unstoppable force. You're having guys like Bryce Butler, Terrence Williams, Cole Beasley, all 3 step up on offense, and then you have McLean, Tank, and our corners and safeties that are playing lights out right now. It's just, you couldn't ask for these guys to step up any more than they could, and the excitement's crazy right now. People are really excited about the future and where we were. I mean, we've literally tied the amount of wins we had last year.
Yeah.
Everyone's really kind of comparing it to, 09 or 14 when we were, 12-4. So
Yeah, it has that special type of feel to it. Austin, I want to ask you a little bit, kind of about how you got to the position that you're in, though. Right now, obviously, the majority of people that will be checking this out are still college students. Here at Iona, we have a big business program, and you graduated from Baylor not too long ago. And for you to be in the position that you are in already, in just such a short amount of time, what do you think maybe was the key thing that got you to the position that you're currently in?
I would say the way I got here is I did it the right way. The way to do it in work in sports is you got to be ethical in how you sell or whatever job that you may take. But just by networking, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's the numbers don't lie. I always look at it 60-40, like, or 50-50. You can have the statistics, the sales numbers, the complete projects, whatever position you may be in, but it's the 50% of the intangibles, being coachable, having the drive, the passion, just kind of those unteachable things that you have to have as a person in sports, depending on what you're doing, or in business, that'll get you to where you want to go. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to have the hunger and drive to really say, hey, look, this is what I want to do, and I want to be good at it. I don't want to tell anybody to tell me I can't do something. You know, when I was in college, I was like, oh, I want to be the GM. And then when I started learning more about sports, I was like, you know what, that's not an actual obtainable goal for me because I'm not a player. I've never had, I didn't play D1 sports very long and wasn't going to be able to. You're not going to, unless you're an NFL player, you're not going to be a GM. So I was like, okay, well, I want to be the president or the vice president of the sales office on the sales side of sports. So I was like, okay, well, how do I get there? At a young age, and especially in college, it's all about networking and staying up with who you're connecting with. When I was interviewing or looking at possible teams, it's shooting LinkedIn messages, it's handwritten notes to people that you've spoken with or have had lunch with. It's those little untouchable things that provide you more impact to a team. And I mean, at the end of the day, your name is the most important thing you own. So how you brand yourself and how you put yourself in a better light with your name is, at the end of the day, it's the most important thing.
So, Austin, how did you get your Yankee Stadium job? Is it from the networking?
Yeah, so, I mean, you guys kind of hit on it. I went to Baylor. So Baylor, when I decided which school I wanted to go to, I wanted a business degree, but I also wanted to work in sports. Well, Baylor offered a program called Sports Sponsorship and Sales that guaranteed me a job after college. Well, I majored in ticket sales, so it gave me the opportunity to get on the phones, to work with other sports teams and actually sell as a college student. One thing, if people are looking to get in sales or in the sports industry, sales is obviously the easiest entry point if that's what you're looking to do in the business world. My senior year, I wanted some extra cash, but also wanted to not stay complacent, so I went and took a job as a student alumni giving caller and called alumni for 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. I wasn't going to get any money off that, but it just helped me kind of stay fresh on the phones, handle really odd objections. I was used to sports, but this was talking about your school and everything like that, so it's just different. But how I got the Yankees was just kind of a cool scenario where it was the right place, right time. I picked them up from the airport, chauffeured them around, and by the time I had my interview, they were saying, hey, look, this is why you're going to come work for us. Definitely lean back on the network of Iona and the surrounding people. I mean, you guys are really close to the tri-state. There's a lot of teams and a lot of successful people up there. I loved working in the tri-state, so it's definitely a place that you guys have a great opportunity of teams or companies that you can get in front of.
So what was it like? I know, because I was a client of yours for group sales. Is it different from what you do now for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, it's like night and day. In baseball, it's more of, you have 80 games. So you have a lot of flexibility on inventory, and everybody's schedule is a little more adaptive to a baseball schedule because it's year-round. With football, I'm selling premium seating and long-term suites and long-term suites. So there's only 10 games, very little inventory. So a little bit different in that sense, and it's more financially structured. Here, you're selling seats and long-term leases for the seats, so there's a lot of finance and numbers that go into it, and how I describe that and interest rates and things like that is a lot different than selling baseball seats and an event. But they're both a lot of fun. They're both very different. With baseball, it's a lot of quantity and constant grinding. With here, it's more intense sales process. They're very, working at the Yankees and the Cowboys are very similarly priced. So you're going to get a lot of big sales, a lot of large clientele. But with here, it's a very challenging and rewarding sale. So was in baseball. It's just a little bit different. This is a little bit longer sales process when you're in front of somebody to kind of explain how it all works. But I look at it as a lot more challenging and a lot more rewarding at the end.
Yeah, so we have a quick, before we wrap up the end of the segment, we wanted to know, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and is the changing of jobs to Dallas a better career move for you?
Yeah, so in 5 years, I hope to be out of being managing a sales team and actually managing a whole office. I want to be the VP of a sports franchise, vice president of ticket sales and service or suites at a team. The second part to your question was that
the move to Dallas, is it that better career-wise for you?
This move was very different for me. It was half personal and half professional. Living most of my life in Texas, all my family and friends are here, so it was a big personal move to come back. Going to school in Texas and everything like that, all my family and friends were here, so being able to say that, hey, I moved to New York from Texas, which a lot of people don't do, and make it there and love it there, and I love New York. I'd go back, but I just didn't see myself living there long term, so I knew Texas is where I wanted to be back, so that part of it was definitely something I wanted to do. But the Yankees gave me a great foundation of training, great opportunities. I couldn't be more happy to where I started my career and invested in the managers and the vice president there. They pretty much made this job possible as well, because like I said earlier, it's all about your name and doing the right thing and being ethical on how you get places. But career-wise, yeah, it's different. I mean, each person can want to do different things. I wanted to kind of be back home, but the New York Yankees, the Dallas Cowboys are usually the two best franchises in all of sports. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a promotion of some sorts. It definitely got me out of my shell of selling baseball suites and group events into something a little bit different and challenging. So that I was looking for a little bit challenge that way. And Kate, it gets me to that next step where I'm looking to then, go and manage a team in the next step. So yeah, it's always a step in the right direction. I recommend you never really want to take a job that it's the same job just somewhere else. You always want to be moving forward, never back. And gets me in front of, builds my network even further here in the sports industry. So it was definitely something that was personal and professional, kind of mix of both, that I decided to come out here.
Well, Austin, thank you so much for calling in. Our viewers, I know, are probably pretty happy to have us not talk to a professional athlete and talk to somebody who's on a sales side of the sports industry. So from Kevin and Matt and myself, we're very thankful that you called in today, even with the phone difficulties, so which tends to happen.
I definitely appreciate you guys letting me come on and spread a little wisdom, but you guys are great. Keep doing what you guys are doing, and I appreciate the time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Austin.
Take care, guys.